Bitcoin is continuing in its quest to bore you to tears, and today it's time to discuss what is going on, because still we find ourselves in this situation here. After the drop down yesterday, continued penning outwards, what is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? Well, I could ask that guy that sat right there at the spare desk reading Blockchain for Babies on the windowsill, but I'm not going to because he's got a horrendous trading history. Either way, it's time to discuss what is currently going on with the price of Bitcoin, and if you're interested in that, do drop a like on today's video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, turn on those channel notifications, and let's crack on with this video, because something's going to happen soon, isn't it? Something has to happen, because if nothing is going to continue to happen, there is nothing happening. It's just insane. I've never seen it like this before, where nothing has happened for so long. And currently, of course, trend is your friend. The trend is sideways. It's not really doing anything. Now, yesterday we discussed a potential inverse head and shoulders pattern currently forming on the price of Bitcoin. I still think that is a pretty decent theory for what is going on right now in the crypto markets. And if we zoom out on the price of Bitcoin over to the daily chart to get a little bit more perspective, and we remove all of the drawings that we've previously made here, you can see that we're kind of just bouncing upwards in these steps. You can see here we're abiding by this level of support. Of course, we don't want to lose that level of support, and if we want to see that level of support on a different chart so we can actually kind of track it a little bit better, I want to load up a different Bitcoin chart here, this one. And then we can zoom out here, put it back on the daily chart where we don't have any analysis, and kind of assess where would we break to the downside of this level of support. And I know we're a fairly long way away from that. Even if you was to plot it differently, just from this point right here, to be honest, we are right on the edge of it if you were to plot it like that. And that would be a break below the level of $29,000 at this point in time, would likely take us back down to the lower level of support here, currently sitting around $27,000. And that is not at all what we want. We don't want the price of Bitcoin to be dropping down to $27,000. That is not good for anybody, and yeah, we just don't want to see that. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. I'd be surprised if it does happen. I think that right now Bitcoin is tempting people into shorts, and those shorts ultimately are going to end pretty badly when the price of Bitcoin rises to the upside. But at the same time, we are, of course, bull flagging outwards. You've got your stalk upwards here, your flag outwards. That's pretty good to see, and that's what we like to see on the price of Bitcoin. We don't like to see Bitcoin bear flagging, which is what it's doing on these lower time frames right now. If you look at kind of the 15-minute, you can't really see it so much on that chart. Let me bring back up my old chart here, and yeah, there we go. All right, so here you can see kind of we're bear flagging outwards. If we 15 minutes again too low, hourly, you can't really see it too much, but I mean, maybe you can. That drop down right here, this is what a lot of people view as a bear flag. This is actually not a bear flag. A bear flag would be if we was trending to the upside. So if you drop down another time frame, we are technically bear flagging, with us dropping down here and kind of uptrending here. But to be honest, we're not really bear flagging at all. We're actually looking pretty decent. Typically a formation like this, where you have a drop to the downside, then results in a pump back to the upside, because you can see here we've got a key level of resistance that we need to break through here on the hourly chart. We're currently pennanting downwards, and generally a formation like this you would expect to break something like this, and then to the upside, back up to this level of resistance here, and a continuation of the trend, which is absolutely nothing. Nothing is going to happen for the rest of the week. That is my expectations, and that should be your expectations as well. And if something does happen, that gets pretty exciting, and I very much look forward to that event occurring. Now, in terms of Bitcoin dominance right now, how is Bitcoin performing? Well, if we're looking at Bitcoin dominance, it actually took a bit of a hit to the downside today, and that's pretty good news. That's what we want to be seeing, because we want to see that altcoin market returning, because tomorrow, or potentially today, depending on how quickly I get it done, probably tomorrow though, on the main channel, the next 100x altcoin video is dropping. I think this is an altcoin that will blow your socks off in terms of its utility, in terms of its potential. Of course, with 100x, you need to find something that is somewhat broken, but also probably is going to be fixed. There has to be a reason why the price is down so bad, and then there has to be a reason why you think it can recover. That's how you get the 100x. With TAP, of course, there was some heavy price suppression on it for 18 months of period of time. The price was suppressed basically to zero, and that allowed us to buy up a bunch at the bottom, and then when the price shot up, that was fantastic news. Even to this date, TAP is still in a very significant profit. So I'm excited for the next 100x altcoin video that is coming to the channel in the next 48 hours time on the main channel, That Martini Guy, which you'll find on the I button somewhere at the top of the screen. However, currently, this is what the price of Bitcoin is doing in terms of Bitcoin market dominance. And Bitcoin market dominance right now, well, is looking fairly interesting. You can see I plotted it here before. We was expecting a break to the upside because, of course, we were flagging like this. That ultimately resulted in a break to the upside, and that's very good to see. At the same time, what can we expect from here? Well, for that, we need to be looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin value. And Ethereum's Bitcoin value right now is sat on a level of support. And to be honest, that more so looks like a break to the downside, because rather than it trending downwards with a break to the upside, it actually looks like Ethereum's Bitcoin dominance could potentially break to the downside on the 4-hour. However, if you go over to the daily, it's also important to point out that really nothing has been happening for an extended period of time here with Ethereum's Bitcoin dominance, and that ultimately means that we can probably expect nothing to continue to happen, because you can see here we have this inverse head and shoulders pattern forming. It's been forming for an extended period of time at this point in time, and to be honest, we probably expect it's going to continue to do absolutely nothing. You know, you can drop to the low side of that range, complete the inverse head and shoulders pattern, but overall, not a lot's going to be happening there. It's just Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're definitely in this dead spot right now where really nothing is happening. And it's hard to explain why that's happening. And nobody really knows why the prices aren't doing anything right now. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This is Ethereum's US dollar value, and Ethereum, in terms of its US dollar value, isn't really doing that much. We've been stuck now in this trading range pretty much since March. That's March right there. April, May, June, July, August. 5 months in the same trading range. That is a long time for anything to be trading at the same prices, and it's not something that we enjoy in the space here because we like that volatility. It's also important to point out that the DXY at this point in time looks potentially like it could be topping out right now. And if the DXY is topping out, that is particularly good news for crypto, because of course, if this starts going to the downside again, Bitcoin's going to start going up. Now, is there anything else left to discuss in today's video? Of course there is, and that's today's cryptocurrency news, with Coinbase saying the SEC lacks its jurisdiction to dismiss the lawsuit. That is particularly interesting. However, the most important thing in today's cryptocurrency news is that, no, it's not that. Is it this? No, it's not that. And it's not that either. I've got the wrong tab loaded up here. The main thing in today's cryptocurrency news was, there we go, Europe's first spot Bitcoin ETF goes live on the Euronext Amsterdam exchange. There is now a spot Bitcoin ETF available in Europe. That is good news, and it potentially sets precedent for the Americans to also have their own Bitcoin spot ETF. If that Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved in the USA in the next 6 months, of which I fully expect is going to happen, we're going to have the biggest bull run you've ever seen. In terms of how everything's going to go between now and then, God only knows. Nobody knows. It's just probably going to go sideways and really do nothing as liquidity is drained out of the market in the lead up to the next Bitcoin halving. Then when the next Bitcoin halving takes place, expect a gigantic price rise, a huge amount of hype around cryptocurrency all of a sudden, and then suddenly the entire market is booming again. We are in the final phases right now of this inflation mega death on the economy, and eventually as that inflation peters off, it comes to an end, we can expect the bull market to return and hopefully prices to rise again. So in the short term, in terms of Bitcoin's price, are there any trades to be taking? Shut up. He's sneezing over there. Look at him, sneezing. Why are you sneezing? Right, so anyway, you look at this right here. We need Bitcoin's price to be breaking above this price level here, which is basically $29,200 in order to break back to the upside and come back and test this level of resistance. That's what we want to see. And in terms of a break to the downside, look, be wary if Bitcoin is losing $29,000, because if Bitcoin is losing $29,000, it is all gonna go horribly wrong. But on that note, guys, do drop a like on today's video. If you're interested in joining the World Series of Trading, you've only got a couple of days left to join the World Series of Trading on ROLEX. Entry is completely free to join. At the same time, if you want to win a Rolex, you'll find that linked in today's video description. All you have to do is sign up to BYBIT, make an account on that Rolex link in today's video description. That competition comes to an end in 12 days time. Somebody has to win the Rolex before then. Nobody's won it yet. So make sure you enter. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.